Hi everyone, welcome back to the day 6 session on WebDriver. In the previous tutorial, we started with learning XPath. We covered basics of XPath, and today we will just continue with the same topic. Oops, not this one. Yeah. So what we covered is, okay, these are the few things that we have to yet cover in XPath. So let's see the first example. Attribute starts with. So first I will write CSS. Let's say I wanted to say that attribute title is starting with something like that. I want to say that find an element whose title attribute starts with. So starts with, we used cap equal to in CSS selector. Okay, I'm talking about CSS selector, not XPath. So title cap is equal to, and then I said, let's say ABC underscore, and that's it. So if you are writing this CSS selector, that means it will select all the element whose title is starting with ABC underscore. Alright, so that is CSS selector, but for the same you can write an XPath. XPath is / star, that means any tag name, square bracket, and then I want to say that starts hyphen with. Okay, starts hyphen with, it is like a method, guys. Starts hyphen with, it is a method. Now what to start? Attribute, right? So first parameter is @attribute name, so it is title in my case, comma, what is the expected value? The expected value is the starting with value is ABC underscore. So this is the syntax, for doing the same way what we have done in CSS selector. So there is a XPath axis, this is known as XPath axis. Starts hyphen with, this is what you have to use. Let me show you an example, of practical example. We have Flipkart page open already, and let's take any example. Maybe I want to say that how many classes are starting with capital V. So just say Control F, and there you can see that we can write CSS selector, or we can use XPath. I'm writing XPath // it means it's a relative XPath. Any tag name, star, square bracket. Now I'm saying starts hyphen with. It's like a method, it is like a method, opening bracket and closing bracket. And then we write what, I want attribute class should be starting with capital V. Okay. So for that you can see that div class is equal to VZHMCR. It is starting with V. It is selected. There are total 20 elements got selected, as you can see it here. I will just say enter. Okay. This is another class which is starting with V value. Okay. You can see that there are many classes which are actually starting with V. So in total there are 20 elements which are matching with this locator which I have written just now. Okay, so that was pretty easy, right? Next is ends with. So in case of CSS selector, I'm telling you both so that it will revise your CSS selector as well as XPath. So in CSS selector, let's say you wanted to say that an element whose attribute is ending with some value. So we say that attribute name is equal to the ending with value. So ending with is actually dollar equal to. Where is dollar? Yeah, dollar equal to ends value. So this was the syntax in CSS selector, if you remember. All right. In XPath, the same thing is written in XPath also. So we write / star / star. Now I'm saying attribute, ends with. It's like a method, it is like a method. So it takes two parameters. First parameter is what you want to check. I want to check the attribute. Stands for attribute in XPath, that we learned in the last session. Let's write the attribute name. Take anything, let's say Let's take example this data tracking ID, whose data tracking ID is ending with seller's word. Okay, so I'm going to say @ data tracking ID because it is an attribute, and that attribute should end with seller. Okay, so this is the XPath which will select all the elements whose attribute data tracking ID is ending with seller word, seller text. Okay, this is not working. Let me see if I have done something wrong. Not sure. I think I have done something wrong. Okay, just let me find the mistake. So right now I will just keep that ends with on hold because we are actually following the right syntax. But I wanted to tell you about the XPath cheat sheet. If you just Google the cheat sheet, or maybe you can refer this website, and there is a cheat sheet also. This is just a single page PDF file. Take a printout and just hang it to your desktop, so that you can use this cheat sheet while creating a locator. So it has many things, especially XPath and CSS is the one that we are most interested. Let me zoom in some locator. There you can see that I want to locate a whole web page. So the XPath is, this is C, it's the absolute XPath. The XPath is /HTML. In CSS, just write HTML. Just write HTML in CSS. So this is kind of some syntaxes. But again, if you use this website devhints.io/XPath, this is better to understand the CSS and XPath both. So now, as you can see, there is a UL tag. UL means unordered list, and then greater than, it means immediate child of that unordered list tag. So it is going to select all the LIs which are immediate child of UL. Let's say you want to write the same thing in your XPath, then we write //UL single slash means immediate child, and then LI. Okay. Take this example. Let's say if you write only H1, that means the tag name. The same thing you can do in XPath is / tag name. If you want to find all the p tags which are present inside, somewhere inside div tag, you can write //div //p. / means you are skipping multiple elements. / means relative. Hope it's clear. All right. So okay. So yeah, just go to the next element. See, I said div greater than star. That means div having any immediate child, not specific any tag name. Find all the child elements of a div, in short. So same thing we can do with the XPath. Just say //star, //div /star. It means select all the elements which are immediate child of div tag. So let me show you a few examples. Let's open developer tools. Okay. I will say //div. First find out how many divs are there. There are 2248 divs. Okay. The number is really huge. So what I want to say is, let's say this is the header, and I want to select both the child tags of this header. So simply I will say //header. So it is one matching element. Okay. And I will simply say /star. So /star, it will match both the child element. You can see that 1 of 2. That means 2 elements. Okay. Let's go back to the cheat sheet. This is a descendant selection. Descendant, it means there is a parent and you want to select the child. Now this is order selectors. Order means based on the index number. So you remember that by saying UL, I said greater than means immediate child. This is CSS selector. So UL greater than LI, that means immediate child of all UL tags. All LIs of which are immediate child of UL. And for there, I wrote colon first hyphen child. That means select the first child only, not all the LIs. Same thing you can do with the XPath. Slash slash UL will select the UL tag. Again, I'm saying slash LI. That means child tags LI, immediate child of UL. All LI which are immediate child of UL. And from that all LIs, I'm saying square bracket 1. That means I want the first element. Okay. Next, like if you want to select some other elements instead of first and last, okay, you can use nth child in CSS selector. Just pass on the index number. Similarly, you don't have anything. You just keep on changing that number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like that. It's easy. In CSS selector, we had a last child, okay, but in XPath we simply write last open bracket close bracket. By writing last open bracket close bracket, it will return you the last child element of UL. Okay, actually last will return you the last index number, and that index number is passed to LI, and it will select the last index number. Okay, now as you can see that LI hash ID, what does it mean? It means the first child tag which is having ID, the LI tag which is having some ID. The same thing you can do it like this. Slash slash LI means select LI which is having ID as ID and index number should be 1. That means it should be first child. When I say index number 1, that means first child. Let's say you wanted to simply say that first child, select all the hyperlinks which are first child of its parent. So just use the syntax, slash slash A and write the number in the square bracket. So it is going to select all the hyperlinks which are first child of its parents. Okay. All right. So let's look for more information as well. We have covered this order selector. So how to select elements by order, that we have covered. And h1 colon not. This is I will not recommend to directly go and use it. Try to stay away from this not. Let me check any other example. Yeah. So let's say you want to locate an element with ID. In CSS selector we write something like this, and whereas in XPath we write this. If you say dot some class name, that means this is your CSS selector. You are finding element which is having a class name as class. And equivalent XPath is this. So slash slash star @class is equal to exactly class. Okay. Guys, if you remember, we already covered this in the last session. And if there are multiple classes written in that class is equal to, let's say, class 1 space, class 2 space, class 3, then while writing XPath, you should give all the value. You should include all the classes like exactly like the same way, class 1 space, class 2 space, class 3 in XPath. But if you're writing CSS selector, you can use any one class, as a unique. You can use any one class which is unique to locate that element. Just say dot and write the class name, whichever is unique. Now, next syntax is this is CSS selector. Tag name has to be input and the type has to be submit. So it will select the submit button. The same thing you can do it with XPath. So slash slash instead of star, guys, there is a mistake. Star is not written anywhere here. The star has to be here. I think this is a mistake. The star has to be there. Star slash slash star slash slash star. If there is no tag, then there has to be star. So this is one example. This is one mistake. There could be mistakes at other places as well, but right now I don't see. Yeah, this is one mistake. Okay, this one is also a mistake. So that is not allowed. You should write slash slash and then tag name, or slash slash and then star. Star means any tag name. So now this example, input tag and Attribute is type, value should be submit. This is written in XPath like // we write input tag name, square bracket, type is attribute, so write attribute @ and equal to the value. Here it is written in a double quote. You can see that double quote, but I recommend use a single quote only, even though they have written in a double quote here on this example. But if you are writing in a Java, I always recommend using a single quote. Single quote also works, and that is actually more easier, instead of using double quote. Next is there is a tag having ID as ABC and attribute equal to XYZ. Now if you want to do this thing, now I am adding more conditions. So there are 3 conditions. First condition, the class name has to be A. Second condition is that ID has to be ABC. And the third condition is the attribute for should have XYZ value. So this is the syntax. Using this multiple square brackets, you can actually mention multiple conditions. Next, A rel. So this is very easy. Any anchor tag which is having rel as an attribute. Okay, I don't care what is rel equal to the value. I don't care it. I just need an element which has attribute rel. Guys, we already covered this CSS selector in the last session, but the equivalent XPath is we write / the tag name square bracket @ attribute name. So this is the syntax, equivalent XPath. Now right, cap sign equal to, that means starts with, dollar equal to, it means ends with. I don't know why it is not working with the Chrome's extension, but we will try it in our Selenium scripting just to check whether it is working or not. Then H tilde sign. Okay, we haven't learned this thing in CSS part. Okay, let me tell you what is tilde sign stands for. So tilde sign stands for any sibling which is matching with this locator. Okay, so H1 is the parent, sorry, H1 is the element, and I'm looking for a sibling which is UL followed by H1 tag. Okay, let me give you some example instead of explaining it. Okay, let's find out some case. Okay, you see this class, right? Class is equal to collapse. All right, so let me find out, class is equal to collapse first, or it has an ID, right? I can use that ID directly. So I'm saying ID. I'm talking about CSS. Okay, so hash ID. It is matching 2 elements. It is okay for now. What I will do is inside that I want immediate child, which is div, and I'm saying first child. Okay, when I say first child, that means this is going to select the first div element. You can see that 1 of 1 is selected, so only that first element is now selected. Now what I want to say that, now this has many siblings. This div has many siblings. You can actually count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13. Okay, there are many actually. It's okay. I don't care what is the number exactly. But what I will say is, if I'm saying plus div, that means next child, immediate next child. You can see that this was the first child, then I said plus, and then I said div. Plus means next child, immediate next, not child, sorry, what I'm saying. I'm sorry for that. So plus means immediate next sibling. Okay, and the tag name has to be div, or you can give star also. If you don't care what is the tag name, you can say star. But now let's say, I wanted to select the element whose ID is how to, this is the ID, ID is how to category hyphen integration. If I'm saying plus, that means next child, which is having ID is equal to, but it is next child, it has to be the first child. Sorry, what I'm saying again, it's not child, sorry. So there is an element, this is the element, guys, the first element, and on that first element I'm saying plus some CSS selector. This CSS selector will be tried to match to this element, which is actually next sibling of the first child. This is first child, this one is the next sibling, and to the next sibling I'm just trying to map this locator. But this is not going to work because the index number for this is, it is so far from, where is it, integration, yeah, here it is. I know the locator of this element. Using this locator I can actually locate this one. So how to do that? Instead of saying plus, simply just say tilde sign. Okay, so if you say tilde sign, that means it just says any sibling which is after that element, which is matching, so it's matching that ID is equal to here, and that is again a sibling. So yeah, this is working. Let me take any other example. The problem here is all the elements has locator. Maybe I should use something else. Check this out. Okay, there is a tag. This is another a tag. That's a div completed. Okay, so yeah, so you see this a tag. Click here to log in title. I'm using that a tag for locating. It is title. Title is attribute, and attribute equal to is the value. If I say plus star, oh, it is not having any child. Oh, plus star. So sorry, who's the next sibling? The next sibling of click here to log in is this one. Okay, so this is the way plus works. If I say again plus and then write span, so plus star plus span, it means the second sibling from this element, which is span tag, which is a span tag. Even though if you write star, that will also work. But now what I want is, I don't want to say that plus then something plus something plus something plus something. Instead of that, you can simply say that tilde sign and directly write div. Okay, or some other locator maybe. So what it will do is, when I say tilde sign, it will skip the siblings, next siblings. So this a tag got skipped. This is a sibling. Then span tag also got skipped, and directly it is selecting the div tag because I said tilde sign. So by saying tilde sign, it will skip some siblings and directly try to find out a locator, try to find out the sibling which is matching with the locator. Okay, I hope it is clear. Let me know any questions, guys. Please post your question if you have any. So that was not covered in the CSS. It's good that we have covered it now. We have already learned what is plus. This is again the so the equivalent XPath is, we already learned starts with / ends with is done, and for the tilde sign we say following sibling : ul. That is the syntax. Now let's say I wanted to apply the same syntax in this example here. So let me convert that first to XPath / star @ title is the XPath, right? Okay, and now what I will do is, I will say I want to locate following sibling hyphen sibling, and then you give the XPath again. So I want to say that following sibling star, oh not star, SIBI, sorry, my not BI. Okay, so following sibling star, that means it will select all the sibling tags which are after click here to log in, this element. So click here to log in is this element, and I said following sibling star, that means it is selecting 1, 2 and 3. Okay, so instead of star you can filter it out. I will say div only. Okay, I want a following sibling which is div tag. Optional you can say that div having @ class. So any div tag which has class as an attribute, I haven't specified the value. Only the thing is that div should have attribute as a class. This is the XPath for following sibling. I hope it is clear. Next is, let's say you want immediate following sibling, just like a plus, how that plus being. I want the next following sibling. So in that case, what you do is, if you want to specify index, then we say following sibling, colon, then write, let's say what I want is, I want star, star will select all of the element, and then I'm giving number also. So by saying number, I want the first element, I want to second element, I want third element, I want fourth sibling, I want fifth sibling, like that it will select, this is the first sibling of that element, this is second sibling of that element, this is third sibling of the element, and it has actually 3 siblings. So, if you want, you can give tag name also. Let's say I want div tag. Oh, sorry, I want, no, there is only one div tag, right? So if you say div, and it has to be 1, because there is only one div tag, right? One div sibling. Okay, so this is also clear, and you can optionally use that any attribute value also. I want a following sibling which has id is equal to something. So yeah, it's pretty much easy. I won't be covering this jQuery. These are not supported by CSS. It's not supported by WebDriver. Okay, and I think we covered almost everything except preceding sibling, descent. There are a few more things that we have to learn. Actually, we haven't covered those. Okay, let me tell you about a few more things. Okay. Preceding sibling. I want to talk about preceding sibling, but why they have not given example, I don't know. All right, so I don't see any example for preceding sibling. Actually, it should be there, but they haven't mentioned it, so that's okay. Still, we will learn. Okay. So let's find out some sample HTML. I can go with Flipkart. Let's inspect this. ICICI offer. What is the offer? Okay, 1,500 offer on credit card. All right, so this is an image, and it has another image. There are 2 images. So first image, this second image is actually the mobile snapshot. You see, and there is another image. What is that image actually? This is again a mobile snapshot. Okay, let's find out what is that image actually. Let's open that image in a new tab. Okay, and let's see what is that image is. Okay, that image is very tiny image. I don't know where they have added it. Okay, let's take something else, something meaningful. Inspect this card. Okay, it has some class. Data rect ID is equal to 53. You can expand it. By expanding, it has SVG. SVG is containing a text as a cart, and there is again a span. That span contains value as 0. You can see that cart item are 0. So yeah, let's go ahead with this. Okay, so what I will say is, I will try to look at this hyperlink first, using the XPath. So // @attribute, and the URL. Guys, if you try to give this partial URL, this is not actually the full URL. If you mouse over on that URL, you see the full URL. So while giving the XPath, make sure you give full URL. So the full URL is actually nothing but copies that main URL and just paste it before the slash, and remove the double slashes. Now what? Still it is not working. What happened to my Chrome browser? Oh, I forgot to give @. It's my mistake. It should work. I don't know. Let me write a XPath that will find all the hyperlinks which are containing Flipkart word. So / star, I'm saying contains, contains. Now what should be containing that href attribute href should be containing Flipkart, Flipkart. That is also not working. That's weird. That's really weird. Yeah, that's weird. How this could happen? Okay, let me check if I can say / star any tag which is contains attribute rel is containing touch, just a touch word. Yeah, it is working. Then I don't know why that href is not working. All right, so this is working. Very happy to see that at least this is working. And with rel with touch -icon. Okay, that ends with is not still working with Chrome. All right, no worries. Let's try to locate something meaningful actually. You see all the dynamic classes, which I try to stay away from using. So let's say required tracking is one. There are so many elements which are having class as a required tracking. Okay, let's take something else maybe that will help. There is a visa button, there is a div and which has all the images, it's not just one image. There is a h2, it is not hyperlink, it is just the image, it is not hyperlink, and that image is actually a single image, it is not chunk. So I want to select this h2 tag, guys. You see this h2 tag, if I simply say that h2, I can see that there are 27 elements are getting matched. Okay, but I want to select this h2 tag, and let's say this is not having class also. We'll delete that. It is not having a class. Okay, it is having some rect ID, but assume that it is not there. So for time being, I'm deleting it. I want to look at this h2 tag, which don't have anything, not ID or nothing. So what I'm going to say is, I can look at this element, right? This is the div tag having a class qrcddp something, So let me copy that complete thing. / star @ Okay, as you can see, this is uniquely locating that div. But what I want is, I want the preceding sibling. If you say following sibling, means next sibling. And if you say preceding sibling, that means previous sibling. So I want to say that preceding sibling. Preceding sibling, and which is the tag name? It is h2. So as you can see that, I'm able to locate that h2 tag even though it is not having ID or anything, with the help of its sibling. So if you can locate a sibling, you can obviously locate its previous sibling or the next sibling. Okay, this is just one example. Now let's say this tag has so many siblings, above here, there are 4 or 5 siblings. You can say that star and just give the number. So star means any tag name, number means the first, second, third. So it will just work like first. If there is second sibling, it will select that one, and like that. But there are no actually. So let's find out some situation where we have multiple siblings. Okay, let's use something else. Okay, as you can see, so there is a footer tag, and this footer tag has a div. Okay, so to select this div, the XPath is going to be //f-o-o-t-e-r. Okay, it will select the footer tag without any attribute. I don't need to specify any attribute because the tag name itself is sufficient to write into XPath. It will uniquely locate that footer tag. But I want to go inside that div, immediate child div. So as you can see, that immediate child of footer is selected. Okay, now what I'm going to say is slash I want any tag, slash, let's say I'm specifically picking up this element which has classes this, slash div having class guys. When to use which locator, for that you need some practice, guys. So as you can see, I'm able to uniquely locate that element. Now with the help of this element, now I have this element located. With the help of this element, I can go to the next sibling. So just the preceding following sibling, colon colon star. If you say sib, okay, so if you say star, that means any tag name, it will select all the sibling. But this is following sibling example. Now I want to say that preceding sibling. So preceding star, that means it will select all the preceding sibling. And how many preceding siblings are there for this tag is 1, 2 and 3. Now what I will say is preceding sibling 1. So that means, okay, see, this is the current element which I located. This was the current element, and I said preceding sibling 1. That means this element. If I say preceding sibling 2, that means it will go one element above. If I say preceding sibling 3, that means it will go one element above. So let's take example. This is 1, this is 2, this is 3. Okay, I hope it is clear that how to use that. And let's say, I want to say that preceding sibling which is having data rect ID is equal to 3, 4, 6. So I'm saying star slash having, star square bracket @ data rect ID is equal to single quote and 3, I said 3, 4 and then 6, 6. Okay, 3, 4, 6, my bad. Alright, so you can see that that specific element, preceding sibling element, is getting selected. So we have covered almost everything from the CSS selector, following sibling, preceding sibling. Yeah, one more thing is, let's say you can actually select parent also. Okay, now let me tell you example. You can locate this element by the tag name footer. In CSS you will write simply footer. In XPath you will write / footer, right? But I want to select the parent child of that footer. Okay, now who's the parent child of the footer? The parent child is actually this div. I want the parent child of that footer. So how we do that? See, I'm writing // f-o-o-t-e-r. Can you see that footer is selected? Yes. Now I want to go to the parent of the footer. So I'm saying simple one / dot dot. So if you say dot dot, that means the parent. So as you can see, the parent element is selected. Again I'm saying slash and then dot dot. See, div id equal to container is now selected. And if I say again parent of the div, that means it is going to select the body tag. See, / dot dot. Now the body tag is selected. So this is the way you can actually select the root, parent element / dot dot. That is the syntax for selecting a parent element in XPath. So yeah, that's all about XPath. And one thing that we already learned is, let's say you want to locate some element with the help of text. I see matrices best seller, I'm inspecting that. Let's copy the text, I'm copying the text, and there writing a CSS XPath selector / star square bracket. I'm simply saying text open bracket close bracket equal to the text which is actually there, or displayed, which is inside the tag. So this is selecting the element uniquely. So this is how you can actually use the text to locate the element by its text. Okay. So yeah, this is one way, and again you can use slash following sibling or preceding sibling, or you say dot dot, it will select the parent, and that way. So that completes advanced XPath as well. We learn about parent, child, we learn about following sibling, preceding sibling, we learn about selecting child elements, we learn about / and single slash, we learn about selecting the parent element, and starts with, ends with, then also contains. I think I will learn about contains also. Let's say I want to say that, okay, slash square bracket, I'm saying contains. Okay, so contains is like a method which takes two parameters. The first parameter I'm going to say is title, @title contains, and the value you have to give here is, again it is not working. That's really weird. It's not working. Okay, only say I. Check if it is working. No, it is not. Let's say I want to say that that text is containing something. Let's say contains text open bracket close bracket comma best word or sellers, SELLERS. Is it selecting? No, it is not. There is something wrong. I don't know what it is. But again, this syntax is absolutely right. Any tag which is containing the text as seller. Okay. Instead of this text open bracket close bracket, you can write any attribute, @attribute also. But looks like this is not supported. Maybe, or there is something wrong. We will try definitely with the WebDriver, but from the advanced XPath, that is all for today. Let me know if you have any questions. From the next session onwards, we will do all the practice in Java only. Okay, but same time we will be using any locator that we have learned from CSS as well as XPath. Okay, so it will be like the next session is going to be like the practice of what or the test of whatever we have learned so far. So thank you guys, thank you very much for attending, and good night. If you have any questions, please post in the chat. Thank you very much. Bye bye.